Good morning, everybody. My name is Superintendent John Tanoia from 41 Division. I'd like to thank all the members of the media for coming out today. Today, the Toronto Police Service would like to make the public aware of a series of distraction thefts that have been taking place in the GTA over the several past months, targeting predominantly vulnerable and senior citizens in our city. Detective Wes Neal of 41 Division will be advising the media about the distraction thefts in conjunction with our Crime Stoppers unit, which will be providing you with a reenactment of the distraction thefts with the purpose to bring about a heightened public awareness of this crime with the hopes of identifying and apprehending the suspects that are responsible for these crimes. I'd like to introduce you to Detective Wes Neal.
Thank you, Superintendent. Good morning. I'm Detective Wes Neal, 41 Division's Major Crime Unit. I want to start off by thanking our partners in the media today for attending and assisting us in getting out this important information to our community. Our message this morning is twofold. Number one, we want to make the public aware of these types of distraction thefts that are occurring in the City of Toronto and the GTA. Number two, in conjunction with our Crime Stoppers program, we want to provide a vehicle in which the community can provide information regarding these thefts in an anonymous manner. In the past several months, the City of Toronto has seen an increase in these distraction thefts. These criminals have been preying on our community's most vulnerable citizens, our seniors. Often these occurrences, the suspects attend busy areas such as shopping malls and parking plazas. They typically attend these areas in a vehicle, and usually one or two females will select and approach a victim while a male driver remains in the vehicle. A distraction is used usually by asking for directions or engaging the victim in a conversation. The suspect will offer gifts of jewelry, often necklaces, rings, and bracelets. The suspects will continue to confuse the victim and place these fake gold items around the victim's necks or on their hands or wrists while removing the victim's necklaces and jewelry. These criminals are highly skilled at their trade, and they often commit these crimes without their targets even being aware that they've been victimized. I personally have attended several of these incidents and have seen firsthand the devastation that these types of crimes cause to our victims, especially when cherished wedding rings and irreplaceable sentimental jewelry is lost to these criminals. We are making this appeal today as spring is just around the corner, meaning people will be spending more time outdoors, wearing lighter clothing, making these types of thefts much easier to commit. A video depicting a reenactment of these types of thefts has been produced with the help of our Toronto Police Video Services Unit and our Crime Stoppers Unit. This video will be uploaded to the Crime Stoppers website as well as YouTube. This will encourage people to provide any information to the police regarding persons involved in these types of incidents. At this time, I'd like to call upon our coordinator of our Crime Stoppers program, Chris Shirk.
Thank you, Wes. I'm Chris Shirk, and I am the Toronto coordinator for the Crime Stoppers program. I'd like to thank you for coming out today. We appreciate the media coming out, covering these events. Crime Stoppers is a partnership between the media, the public, and the police. It's important that we get our message to the public through you. So thank you for coming. I'd also like to thank Superintendent Tanoia. He called me a couple weeks ago about putting this program together, and the support from 41 Division in assisting Crime Stoppers put this together has been outstanding. I don't have a lot to add in regards to what Wes said. I just really want to drive home that video. We do a Crime of the Week every week on Crime Stoppers. This is a little bit different in that this one also serves as a public awareness campaign as well. I'd really like to drive it home. If you can put it out through your social media, your websites, anything that you can, to go to our Crime Stoppers website, 222tips.com, Crime of the Week, watch the video, And for the people receiving that message, the public, I'd ask you to watch the video, contact all the seniors in your life, your mothers, your grandmothers. These are potential victims that don't have to be. Forewarned is forearmed. If we can get the message out, we can certainly do a lot towards reducing this kind of theft. So again, it's 222tips.com, Crime of the Week. Thank you. I'll turn it over to Wes or anyone else for some questions.
Detective Neal, can you talk a little bit about your event? I feel like we've done so many stories exactly like this. We've interviewed the victims, we've put the message out there so many times, and yet you say that distraction thefts are going up in the city. How is it that they're still getting away with this?
Yes, it's frustrating for us as a police service and for the investigators. I think the best way is just this awareness, getting them information out to possible victims, and speaking to victims, like Chris had said, and allowing them to better protect themselves. The Toronto Police Service, as well as other services throughout the GTA, have made numerous arrests in regards to these types of crimes. They're put before the courts, and eventually they come out. We find that these distraction thefts are sort of they have a rolling lifespan. Us in 41 Division, we've seen a spike in these type of crimes. We make arrests, and they tend to move on to other parts of the city and other parts of the GTA. So it's about awareness, and it's about, like you had said, there's a lot of talk about distraction thefts. But with the video that we've produced, we want people to understand what exactly is happening, what is a distraction theft, to better protect themselves.
How many of these distraction thefts have you had in 41 divisions?
Since November, we've had 17. And that's just 41 Division. Like I said, I know that our partners to the east, 42 Division and 43 in Scarborough, have had a considerable amount as well.
Do you think the same people are responsible for all 17?
I do not. I think that these are groups that roll through different areas. Like I said, as quickly as we make an arrest, it's almost like another group steps up and starts the same type of behavior.
What advice should we be giving to seniors, to our elderly friends? What should we be telling them? What should they be watching for?
I think the most important thing is a lot of these incidents happen in crowded areas, like I'd said, in shopping malls, in plaza parking lots. I think the key is to protect your personal space. A lot of these things are done, like I said, these are sleight of hand wizards that come in. There's not a lot of a racket made or attention drawn to them. Protect your personal space. If you have to wear jewelry, try and cover it up, and just be aware of it. If you can leave your stuff at home, then do so. That's what we need the message that we need to get out to our seniors.
And talk about what some of these suspects are saying to these people to get that close to them, to be able to get their hands around them and take some of this jewelry. What are some of the things they're using to kind of pull them in?
Yes, I describe it as killing them with kindness. They'll approach a senior and kill them with all kinds of compliments. There's a lot of touching involved and very nice words to gain their trust. A lot of our seniors are independent. They're out there doing their shopping, minding their own business. They've worked hard all their lives, and they're being accosted by these criminals. I think there's been many different approaches, from asking for directions to hospitals, to telling the victim that they remind them of their deceased mother, hence wanting to give them a gift of jewelry, asking for directions to hospitals, and different ideas like that. We've seen several of them.
Talk about the impacts of these crimes. I mean, you were saying that you've gone to interview some of these people who've been victimized. Talk about the impact of these crimes, and is there a sense that maybe some people aren't even coming forward with some of these because of the embarrassment?
Absolutely. Embarrassment. Like I've said, I've been to several of these scenes and spoken to the victims. It's devastating. It's heartbreaking for us as police officers to go to these and hear the stories. I can speak of a few, and one in particular, an elderly lady. Her necklace was taken, and she said to me it was given to her by her deceased husband. And as she started to get very emotional, saying that this necklace was a sign of her husband being with her every day, and now it's gone. This jewelry moves very quickly. Gold is a commodity that's very valuable these days. It's moved very quickly, melted down, sold very, very quickly. Just the devastation in the victims feel very embarrassed. Some of the things that I'm told by these victims, they feel embarrassed that they didn't see it coming. A lot of times the theft isn't actually realized for sometimes hours later when they go to they get home and they notice that their jewelry's gone. It has a devastating effect, not just on the senior, but the family. They lose their confidence of going out into our city, which is a big part for seniors to be able to live their lives independently and do their own things. So I'll just reiterate, we need to sit down with our seniors, whether it be our parents, our aunts, our uncles, neighbors, and like Chris was saying, this video will be available to the media as well as in its different forms on YouTube and the Crime Stoppers media. Sit down with your elderly mother or father. Use the video. As you can see, we've done a reenactment to really to have them understand what exactly is done. There's generally no violence involved in these things. Again, sleight of hand, and a lot of times it's not even known by the victims that their items have been taken till quite some time later.
You know, obviously, from the culprit standpoint, you know, we all know the power of suggestion and the power of influence, but there must be something very specific about the people they target. You know, the ability to trust the person who's just approached them who they don't know. There's probably something very specific about the people they're targeting in terms of being able to be influenced, for them to be able to get that close to the person, to touch them. Most people in everyday life won't be influenced like that. They won't be persuaded like that. So there must be something that you can talk about the victims, something very specific that the culprits look for.
Yeah, I believe that these suspects go out and they make several attempts before they're successful. I don't know if there's any one thing that they see and they go after, but at the start of the crime, it's very, like I said, they're very, very nice. Our seniors are some of the most trusting people in this world, and that's what they do. They take advantage of their trust and give them compliments, you know, make them feel good. A lot of touching, a lot of hugging, and that starts off the crime, and then from there it's sleight of hand, and these suspects are gone quicker than you can blink an eye.
Looking at the video, there's one woman there. I know these are obviously actors, but there's one woman where she's obviously maybe older, like the victim in the video. Do you think that you said that usually there's going to be two women who approach the victim? Is age a factor when it comes to even a culprit? Like one of them might be a bit older, so they use that common elements of age, right?
Yes, I think our victims are targeted. I know that when you go to any shopping plaza and you look around, for most of us, we'll be able to see people that are alone is another key in it, to approach people that are alone, and their age probably has a lot to do with it. And again, they approach them and engage in conversation. And sometimes they're successful. We get a lot of reports of these incidents that occur where they're unsuccessful. And that's important for us to know as well, that these incidents are reported even when the criminals are unsuccessful.
We were talking earlier, I was covering something last summer, I think you reminded me at 13th Division, where it was the exact same thing, pretty much. And you said this was, in terms of the suspects, the culprits, whatever you want to call them, this was a culture. And you mentioned that a lot of times they're of Eastern European origin or descent. Can you talk a little bit about that? That seemed to be a common thread through this.
Yes, I know from my experience in dealing with arrested parties, as well as other successful projects. I know Durham Regional Police completed a project last summer, and it's been my experience that some of these people that are doing these are from Eastern European countries. I almost I call them a cell, I think you spoke of, and that is that once they're in an area and they sort of do their damage, they move along. If they're arrested and charged, it's like there's another group that's willing to step up, and their grasp of or their wingspan of where they go is all the way from Montreal right through to Western Canada. So it's not a problem that's specific to Toronto and the GTA. It's something that is occurring, and it's occurring far too often for us, and we need to educate the public and start to take away these people's availability to allow them to commit their crimes.
Have there been many arrests?
There has. Often these things happen, and somebody in the community sees it happening in a parking lot, and they call 911, and the officers get there very quickly and recover jewelry, and these people are arrested and charged. But I know I've been involved in several, as well as every other division in the city, as well as every other police force in the GTA.
Forgive me if you've already answered this question, but what is the best advice then for people who will encounter this, or what should people be on the lookout for?
Yeah, the one thing that I say is protect your personal space. If these people approach, make a lot of noise. You know, there's always good people around getting in and out of their car in these shopping malls, or people in shopping malls altogether. Make lots of noise, speak to them clearly, and tell them you're not interested and get away from me.
If you've already covered this, I apologize, but if arrests have already been made and more groups are coming, can you talk a little bit about why this is coming, why now we're having this press conference with this?
Well, I spoke of this earlier. My concern is, I know that in the past with the summer and the warmer weather, I know it doesn't feel like that out there this morning, but spring is coming. People tend to spend more time outdoors. So we want to have this education right now so that people can be aware for when the warmer weather comes and they're wearing less clothing. So that's why we're doing this today.
Has there been a rash of these sort of incidents in a particular area in the last recently, or is this just a reminder kind of?
Yeah, we noticed in 41 Division a bit of a rash back in January, and there was some arrests made by 42 Division a couple weeks ago, and right now I would call it sort of a lull. There hasn't been anything in 41 Division for the last week and a half, but this is the time where we need to get the information out and move them along, these people. Yes?
I have some information saying that actually since this January, there are 55 cases within the GTA area. Should I update the case, the numbers of the case, or the total number of the cases happened in GTA area remain the same since January?
Well, I'm only speaking about 41 Division's numbers. That number is not surprising to me if you're talking about city-wide, Toronto Police Service. So I don't understand your question, the second part.
If we say 41 division specifically, since January, how many cases happened?
I believe since the beginning of December, it's been approximately 16 incidents, yes.
So
But we work very closely with our partners in other divisions, so I'm aware of the numbers, the divisions close to us. I know the west end of the city, 13 Division in particular, had a real problem with them last summer. But it's everywhere in the city. It's not just 41 Division. It's everywhere.
You talked a little bit about victims you had visited and said, you know, a woman lost a piece of jewelry, and her deceased husband had given her, and she was devastated. Can you speak a little bit about the monetary loss here? I mean, obviously, you've been in close contact with victims. Can you give us some examples of really, because you're saying it's all fake jewelry that's given to the person, and then they use sleight of hand to take very real jewelry. Can you give us an idea of, you know, how much money maybe a victim has lost, like a really expensive piece of jewelry?
Yeah, you know what? Monetary values in the cases that I've been involved in are not important. It's the replacement, the jewelry, and what it means to the people. I don't have numbers when a necklace is taken. As you all know, gold is a commodity that's very high in its price right now. And I don't have those numbers in particular incidents, but again, the monetary value is not the big issue in most of my cases. It's what the jewelry represents to the owner.
Just one more. You mentioned there was obviously a rash of this localized, but it's going across the city and it's a larger stretch of it, swath across the province as well. Is it possible this is part of a larger organized criminal network at all?
Absolutely. They're organized. There's more than 2 or 3 involved. And like I said, they tend to swing right from Montreal right across to the west coast of Canada. One thing that we do see a lot of in dealing with our witnesses to these offenses, and it's quite a common occurrence, is that there's a vehicle involved, and most times this vehicle has a Quebec marker. I know from our investigations, a lot of these types are renting vehicles in Quebec. We've seized a few ourselves and returned them to the rental agencies in Quebec. But it's a very common practice that rental vehicles from Quebec are used in Toronto, in the GTA.
And they all have similar, like you were saying, across the board, they all pretty much have similar MOs, same kind of way of approaching people, same escape routes.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's got to be pretty lucrative for these thieves to be going to those sort of lengths.
Absolutely. With this many people involved, I mean, most people get up and they go to work and they work hard and earn a living. These people get up in the morning and their prime goal is to go out there, find these victims, and rip them off. That is their job. And I can imagine it would be quite lucrative, yes.
You talked about victims being targeted because maybe they're trusting. If you could list 2 more personality traits of a victim that would make them attractive to the fraudsters, what would they be? Trusting?
Yeah, I think that, like I've said, our seniors are very trusting, and sometimes they can be confused in the ways that these suspects are dealing with them. And then when I say two women or a man and a woman, it's generally 2 people, and that's part of the distraction, the talking and touching on both sides. And seniors can sometimes get confused from that. A lot of information coming at them all at one time, and it allows these criminals to do their sleight of hand thefts on these people. I think age is definitely a factor, and someone being alone, somebody being alone, and they feel that they're an easy target.
You said you're worried that this is going over around the city, not just in 41 Division itself, but I was just curious, is there a specific area in 41 Division where people are being targeted?
Yes, there is. I found that on Eglinton Avenue, between Pharmacy and Warden, there's a lot of shopping there. There's a lot of plazas on both the north side and the south side of Eglinton. I've seen a lot of our occurrences occur in that area, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That concludes today's conference. I'm going to give the spelling once again. It's Superintendent John Tanoye, T-A-N-O-U-Y-E, from 41 Division. Detective Wes Neal, that's last name N-E-A-L, from 41 Division, Major Crime. And Crime Stopper Coordinator Chris Shirk, S-C-H-E-R-K. The video is going to be available on YouTube, and for anyone who wants, we also have MP4 and ProRes version to take. Thank you.